currently in the middle of a bunch of series, and I am not allowed to start a new one until I at least get a couple of them down, because I just have a huge habit of starting them and just never completing them. And it's not because I don't like the books or the entire series, it's just that I get distracted so easily and I just move on to like the next trend and what other people are currently reading, and I just completely forget about them. So I actually wrote down the ones that I'm currently in the middle of. So we're actually only going to be reading completed series, just because obviously like the other ones you have to kind of wait until like the next book is out, like Powerless, Fourth Wing, the Kings of Sin series, all of those are still kind of not completed. So we're currently in the middle of The Shepherd King, Crowns of Nyaxia, The Folk of Air, Chestnut Springs, The Prison Healer, Shatter Me, ACOTAR, Knock 'em Out series, and Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So without further ado, we're actually going to be starting 2 books at the same time, which is going to be A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas and Reckless by Elsie Silver. So the main reason why I want to read these 2 is because I'm so close to finishing them, and for the ACOTAR series I am not allowed to even touch Throne of Glass until I finish this. It's been taking me an entire year to finish this series, so I'm not allowed to touch any other Sarah J Maas series until I finish this one. So I'm super excited to be starting these 2 books and finishing them. Once I finish this one, I will only have 1 more book to finish out of this series, and for this one I will have 2 of them to finish. So yeah, let's actually start with these 2. We're gonna be reading them both at the same time because this is such a huge book. I do want to read something kind of like not too heavy and like more, I guess, romance focused, kind of like a palate cleanser. So let's actually start with these 2 books. Y'all, it is future Carla here, and I am so sorry to say, but I accidentally deleted footage from me reading Reckless, and it's mostly because I did not look at the actual footage. I just deleted some stuff because my SIM card was running out of storage. So it is sad to say that I don't have any footage of me reading Reckless. I am so sad about it because it's actually one of my favorite books that I've read. So I am so sorry that I did that, but in the future I will make sure that I double check. So I am so sorry. Let's get back into the actual reading vlog. Not well, so it's actually been a couple hours since I finished ACOTAR, and I was just like going through Goodreads just to see what other people felt about the book, and I just didn't really want to give my final thoughts about it because I just wanted to sit down and just think about it. I'm just like thinking so much of like all of the books that I read in the ACOTAR series and just kind of building my thoughts in it. I'm not going to really like talk much about the last book because the entire plot is just finished. There's like nothing really that happens because, you know, like everything wraps up. So the main plot that happens in all 3 books are completely done, and so I just feel like how she initially had with those 3 books in the original series was what she should have just kept with. And I've been hearing that she's actually in the works for another ACOTAR book, and I just don't understand why, but maybe if like I read the last book I will understand. I just don't know. So we're actually going to start reading Reckless. I am on chapter 25. I am like 56% into the book. I really like this book a lot. I think I touched a little bit on Winter and how I relate to her a lot. Her inner monologue and like the things that she thinks about herself, like I just resonate with her a lot, and I just really relate with her a lot, where in the inside you're just like thinking the worst and it's just not that at all. And I just feel really bad for her because obviously like people have such great things to say about her, but because she doesn't like herself, she just thinks very negative of herself. And Elsie Silver just did such an amazing job with their chemistry. Yeah, their chemistry is so good. I love them so much, and the patience that he has with Winter, that's like like the main thing that I love about Theo, how he just will bring her up even when she's down. But I'm actually going to wait until I finish the book to see which book is actually my favorite book in the Chestnut Spring series, because it's either between Reckless and Heartless. So I'm very intrigued to see which one's at the top, because Reckless is actually very much head to head with Heartless. So let's actually continue reading this book. I finished reading Reckless, and it's safe to say and confirmed this actually dethroned Heartless for me, because it was just so good. And the thing with this one is it doesn't feel forced. The characters are so well written, and their character development just felt so real throughout the entire book. I was just smiling and giggling, and like it also didn't have like a third act conflict or breakup, which I love because they almost feel very forced, and this one didn't have any of that. It just felt just normal, and it just felt like a great read where it just felt like they were two characters that were genuinely meant to be with each other, and everything just flew so perfectly. Like obviously they were gonna have some conflicts, but they were resolved in a very realistic way, and it was just so good. I highly recommend reading Reckless. The next book that we're gonna be reading is A Court of Frost and Starlight. This is just a cute little novella. It's pretty short. I think this is perfect, and it's kind of like a reward for finishing that big of a book, because it was 700 pages and a lot happened. So I think this is a great just palette cleanser and kind of going back into the world. I don't know when I'm gonna be reading the last one, but I think I'm gonna take a little break just because the last one was so big, and that one is also pretty big. It's over 700 pages, but I'm actually very excited because now we only have, after I finish this one, we only have one book left from the Akatar series, and I will complete that series. And that is honestly so rewarding because we are still in the first month of this year, and we're gonna be completing it very soon. So yeah, I'm gonna start with this one. We are back. I know I have you guys in an awkward spot, but we are back in the same spot that we were here yesterday. We are actually flying through this book. I am literally on page 200. I started this today in the morning and I'm already on page 200. I am loving this book so much. It really reminds me a lot of just reading the first book and how much I loved this world and how easily it is to be able to kind of immerse yourself in this world. I feel like people either love this book or they hate it. Like there's no in between, and obviously I'm one of the people that love this book and this series, and like I understand why some people don't like it because it is not romance heavy at all. It's more politics. I love that. I really do. Especially after reading ACOWAR, I really liked the whole politics aspect of it and just trying to figure out everything when it comes to your enemies and who you can trust. And in this one it's no different. It's actually more funner because it doesn't feel as high stakes as ACOWAR. it just feels a little bit more kind of like Harry Potter. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels more of like Harry Potter in that world where obviously it's still high stakes, but there's something about it where it just doesn't really feel as intense, and the magic system is completely different, but it's just like the feeling of reading Harry Potter that I love, and I just feel that same way with this one. I'm super excited. I love this book so much. So right now we're at a part where someone's getting married, and if you guys have read or watched any like fantasy anything, you will know that weddings are not good at all. Something always happens. So I'm so nervous. I can't confirm that something did happen, but we're at the beginning and I just feel like something will. I'm nervous. I don't like weddings when it comes to fantasy. Something always ends up going wrong at weddings in fantasy books, so I don't know. I'm nervous. Okay, so we finally finished all the books that we read in this video, and we read 4 books. Look at that. I think that was a pretty good accomplishment. So in the beginning we finished ACOWAR, and I am still thinking about this book. So much happened and I just can't explain how I feel about this book because it's just something that you have to experience yourself. I highly recommend this one. I don't think I need any explanation with what this book is about. The first book is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and she is taken to a fairyland because she killed one of like the fairies, and the main guy grabbed her and took her to basically pay for her debts of killing someone that she wasn't supposed to, because it's actually illegal to do that. That's not even all of it. Like everything that happens in like the first book, second book, and even this one is so much. So I highly recommend reading. I know it's such a huge book, but there's a reason why. The second book that we read was Reckless by Elsie Silver. I think that this is my favorite book out of the entire Chestnut Spring series, guys. It was so good. It had everything that I wanted, everything that I love, and I did not think that like pregnancy tropes were gonna be my favorite because it's not everyone's favorite, but for whatever reason I actually enjoy them. Winter, Theo, even Theo, of how he is and how much he cares about women in general, honestly, because he also grew up with women. He understands them to the T, and he has a lot of patience with Winter because she deals a lot with insecurities and with kind of like family trauma of like never being loved by her parents, and so she always feels like she's not good enough for anyone. And yeah, I love them so much. I highly recommend the entire Chestnut Spring series, and this is by far my favorite one out of that series. And then we actually went back into Farrah's world and read the 4th book in the series. This is a novella, and it's basically just kind of like their own version of Christmas. It's not my favorite. It was okay. The actual like half of it was very boring, and then it actually ended up becoming really good. Like the last 100 pages I could not stop reading. It was kind of like a in-between book for me. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. And then the last book that we read was The Wicked King by Holly Black. This book right here is the main reason why you should read this entire series. I'm so sad that I didn't get the 3rd book. I knew I should have. I always look at it when I go to Barnes and I never do. Everything that happened in this book felt like a roller coaster. I'm still shocked with everything that happened. Like everything just happened so quickly, but in a good way, where by the end and you finish everything, you're kind of just like, what just happened? Don't go into it thinking it's like a romantasy, because it's not. It's more than that. It's kind of like a subplot, and it's not really that heavy, but the tension is what makes it so worth it. So good. Loved it. Very much enjoyed. I literally just realized that now that I finished all of these, I literally only have 1 book of each to finish to complete the entire series. It wasn't my intention to do this, but it somehow happened. But yeah, that concludes today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever time you guys are watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.